Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies, where last episode we recharged our Magatama with the help of Pearl and broke a couple of Cyclops. First on Pearl herself, then on Norma Deplume, as we learnt some more of the goings and comings around the ship-shaped aquarium. However, we've also found ourselves new evidence around the pool of a bloody coin being a possible murder weapon, I'd have to say, if anything. A coin slot possibly found, but some coins are missing, so we need to find that as well. We head to the side of the pool to look deep within, and I'm pretty sure we found ourselves our coins. Look, I think I see something on the bottom of the pool. Haha, I knew it. I want to go down and check. You can't jump in dressed like that. You'll drown under the weight of your clothes. Plus, it's silly to jump into a pool, even with the we believe is not guilty, but still is a killer whale kind of orca kind of thing. It's not clever. Don't do it. You'll drown on the weight of your clothes, will you really? No, I won't. I'm a pretty good swimmer, you know. Be that as it may, that pool's really deep. I doubt you can hold your breath that long. But maybe Sasha can. Let someone train for it. Phew. And also someone that all is okay with being in the pool. Phoenix, look at all these coins I found at the bottom. Thanks, Sasha. So there really were more of them down there, huh? We seem to be finding them all over. I wonder how many there are altogether. Including the ones I put away, there are 300 of them. They're for the show. Sounds like they'd be heavy. About 7 pounds, I'd say. A little lighter than a stringfish. Well, I'd better go put these coins away where they belong. So 7 pounds of coins scattered around the scene. One of them with blood on it. They have to be related to the case. I wonder how the blood got on that one coin. Wait a minute. Could it be? Remember how Detective Fulbright said that they couldn't find a murder weapon? Well, what if these coins were the weapon? Huh? How can a little coin kill a grown man? Well, one coin by itself isn't much of a threat, but 300 coins together could definitely be used as a weapon. All you'd have to do is freeze them, put them in a bag, or throw them. You're talking about bludgeoning. If you put 7 pounds of coins in a bag and swung it at somebody, it would make a pretty formidable blunt instrument, wouldn't it? It would explain how blood got on this coin. Oh, we get it. If that bag of coins is a weapon, then we can use it to prove all his innocence. So, also the fact that one of these coins seems to have been embedded in our poor deceased head. But that sounds plausible. It would also understand, like, why there were coins inside and outside the pool. The body then falls inside the pool. And a certainly randomly not seemingly fed Orla reacts, I guess, when there's blood in the water and all. I don't know, we'll find out. But I don't see anything resembling a coin bag around here. Maybe the killer took it with him. Yeah, it would certainly make it look like Orla did it if they did. You know what I think, Mr. Wright? The bloody coin alone should be enough to prove this might have been a murder. I agree. It shows the possibility of a human killer rather than Orla. Yes, this is just what we needed. Let's go show this coin to Detective Fulbright and Mr. Plume right away. Why Mr. Plume? Good idea. Let's hope they're still at the pub of danger. I feel it wouldn't be a good idea to say to Mr. Plume somehow. And so we come to the pub of danger. Oh, you're back! So did you find anything? Of course he didn't. Remember, even if you don't succeed, it's the effort you make that's important. Is he trying to console me? Let's show him the evidence we found. The one that points to a human culprit. Right, because we won't let Orla be put down. Time to present then. I don't want to present to you, I want to present to Fulbright. Please take a look at this blood-stained coin. Yeah! Cease and desist at once. What kind of man shows a lady blood? She doesn't have to get so worked up. What are you terrorizing this lady with? Come on now, let's see it. We found this coin beside the orca pool. We did see a large number of coins beside the pool, but not one with blood on it. We just learned there's 300 of these, weighing about 7 pounds altogether. Now, what do you suppose would happen if a person was assaulted with that many coins? What? So you're saying the coins might have been used like some kind of blunt weapon? If the blood belongs to the victim, then yes, it's entirely possible. But I wouldn't call it decisive proof that the real culprit was human. You wouldn't? Why not? Because there'd have to be something to put the coins in to make them into a weapon. But that's something. It's just not going to be enough to pass muster. But I will say that your theory does seem to want further investigation. I'll call the prosecutor's office and ask to re-investigate from a possible criminal angle. You will? Thank you very much. I really hope Detective Fulbright can convince them. You won't believe the answer I got. When I explained your passion for this case and the police's investigation, they said that the prosecutor I mentioned earlier would be willing to take this to court. Really? Does that mean a new suspect has emerged? No, I'm afraid not. To be frank, Prosecutor Blackquill said he just wants to prove that Orca's guilt in court. What? It's Prosecutor Blackquill that wants to prosecute Orla? That's fine, Detective. Thanks for arranging this for us. Well, I must say you're taking this rather calmly. Defending Orla in court was my idea from the start, and I'll do whatever it takes to save her. In that case, I'll do whatever I can as well to see that justice is served. Mr. Plume, will you be a witness for the prosecution? A trial for a killer whale? I've never heard of such recklessness before in my life. But I will reveal the truth about this killer whale, and then write all about it. Ha ha ha! Sounds like a plan! Now if you'll just come along with me, we have to prepare for tomorrow. I still have to arrange for an autopsy. That's what we really want. I look forward to tomorrow. Until then, blue lawyer and yellow fan. She shot me! Arrest that woman! I am not a fan! Well, at least we managed to get the case to go to trial. But how in the world do we defend an orca in court anyway? To be honest, I'm not really sure myself. Plus, Mr. Plume said Orla bit the victim. This trial sure isn't going to be easy. But I love a challenge. Then we ought to be just fine. I guess we should go over that swashbuckler spectacular you're watching this morning. Yeah, we can have a formal viewing back at the office. There's nothing decisive against Orla in the security tape, but that doesn't mean much. I'll just have to find a more concrete way to save Orla at tomorrow's trial, or else. How can there be nothing decisive? Well, what's the point? There would have to be lots of indecisiveness, which would be, reasonable doubt. Well, let's move ourselves over to the courtroom, shall we? As we complete our investigation segment. I wonder if you're going to have steak in the stand. Just like a doll of a whale or something. I want to take testimony. Come on. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning. Chipper as ever this morning, I see. I'm just thankful we actually get to have a trial for Orla. As a matter of fact, I just ran a few laps around the courthouse to get extra pumped. And I just splashed my face with some water to get sleep out of my eyes. Oh, it's always so cute, the swashbuckler video, so we can watch it at any time. Right then, a TV recording of a performance featuring Orla, Sasha and Jack Shipley as pirates. Thanks, it just might help our case. By the way, you have some serious dark circles. Did you stay up late watching this? What? Me? No, I just woke up early, that's all. I guess I need to cover them up. I get ragged on enough as it is by Prosecutor Blackquill. Speaking of being pumped, I'm pretty fired up for this trial too. It's been a while. Haha, that explains why your hair is spikier than usual. I mean, look at it. It's all super pokey and prickly and stuff. It's amazing. That was a compliment, right? Good luck, Mr. Nick. I'll be cheering you on from the gallery. Thanks, Bells. It's been so long. I'm actually a little nervous. Good morning, Mr. Lawyer. Oh, Mr. Rhymes. You came and watched the trial? Yeah, Sasha was back at the aquarium with the orca. So I thought I'd better come here to watch for her. Well, don't you worry. We're going to win for Orla. Isn't that right, boss? Right, one unprecedented trial coming right up. This is where we'll have a special animal cases judge. So we move to the courtroom. Trial starts strictly at 9:30 a.m. Courtroom number 4. I wonder when number 5 will be repaired. Court is now in session. All rise. For his magnificent boldness. A court is now in session for the trial of Orr Shipley. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Must we waste words on this? Prosecutor Simon Blackquill, known as a twisted samurai, he's a prosecutor who's always a convicted felon. They say he never conducts a trial without his loyal hawk, Taka, by his side. Mr. Wright, it's been quite a while since I've seen you like that. The lawyer image suits you. You look younger somehow. Thank you, Your Honor. And you look as young as ever yourself. Ha ha ha! Well, I have to keep up with you folks after all. By the way, has the defendant arrived in court yet? Surely you jest your boldness. Did you not receive the memo? The defendant, Orr Shipley, is an orca at Shipshape Aquarium. An orca! Arrangements for this trial were made only yesterday, so I didn't have time to review. But an orca as a defendant is patently absurd. Direct your comments to the defense. He's the absurd fellow who insisted on defending the orca in court in the first place. Absurd or not, I will carry out my duty to defend my client. Your duty to defend your crying ant? Don't you mean your crying orca, Mr. Wright? What? If we are to proceed, we must treat the orca as we would any other defendant. Every soul, be it of man or beast, is of equal value. The question is whether that soul is painted in black or white. Take Taka, for example. He is as human in spirit as you or I. The real question is, am I in for more pain, as always? Orca or not, I suppose the defendant is still a defendant, and I vow to render my verdict fairly and impartially. And now then, Prosecutor Blackquill, your opening statement if you would. I suppose I can hardly leave it to someone who knew nothing of the defendant. Very well, listen carefully. The orca murdered the owner of Shipshape Aquarium in the aquarium's orca pool. The orca apparently toyed with the victim mercilessly as he died. A sadistic orca, what a chilling thought. And where exactly is the defendant now? Inside this. A cell phone? Prosecutor Blackquill? Time marches on, your boldness. With or without us. I borrowed this TV phone from the aquarium, which will allow us to interact with the orca. What's that gonna prove? A TV phone? Very well. The court accepts it into evidence. It's called FaceTime. A cell phone used by Shipshape Aquarium staff, this model can connect to TVs and be used to conduct teleconferencing. We will be able to view the defendant in question on this large monitor. Fulbright, prepare for transmission. Ha ha ha! You've got it, Prosecutor Blackquill! It's just kind of ridiculous, isn't it? We will proceed with the defendant on telecast. So that is the orca that stands accused, is it? Ah, she's waving a flipper at us. Maybe she's cheering us on. Hola. Wish Phoenix and Athena luck. Oh, it's quite cute, isn't it? And this adorable creature is suspected of killing a man. Oh, it's really pouring on the charm, huh? She's far from cute. She's a violent, reckless animal. That's right. Her name's Bobby Fulbright, and I'll take over the explaining from here. And now, if I could direct your attention to this diagram of the crime scene. Following the report of an orca attack, we, the police, raced on over to Shipshape Aquarium. There we found a guest who said she saw the orca and the victim from the visitor's corridor. As the witness was watching, the orca suddenly went crazy and attacked the victim. The orca was the only one there, therefore no one else could have committed the crime. It's not quite finished, but I have a portion of the autopsy report here. Right, so Shipley's autopsy report that hasn't been completed, that's handy, or not, is now in our record. Instant death from a brain contusion. There are signs of blunt force trauma all over the body. I can't imagine the terror of being attacked underwater by such a large creature. But attack it did. Prepare yourself for the grisly details, your boldness. The prosecution moves to introduce our witness, Fulbright. You got it, Prosecutor Blackquill. In justice we trust. One brave lady whose fine sense of justice compelled her to speak, coming right up. Fine lady. How dare you make me wait? Don't you know I'm a busy woman? I could have written an entire book for all the time I spent in that lobby. Prosecutor Blackquill. Well? I am Norma Deplume, and I'm a non-fiction writer. Am I the only one who isn't telepathic here? Looks like she can read into people's words just as well as she can read into people's hearts. Not everything needs to be a competition, Athena. What? Norma Deplume? The great non-fiction writer, Miss Norma Deplume herself? I've read all your works and enjoyed them immensely. Your million seller, The Great Grief of the Great Thief. Ah, nice. Nice title, catchy. It's one of my favorites. Oh, are you a fan, Your Honor? I give you my autograph if you'd like. Oh, wait a second. I could swear you looked much different in the photos in your book. Well, I used one some 10 years ago in my book, so the paparazzi won't harass me. Judge seems so shocked. The visual disconnect must really be doing a number on his honor's head. Could we get started, please? If I find you to be lacking as a judge, you will see your debut in my books. Such harsh comments! You really must be the real Norma Deplume. Who knew Mr. Plume was so famous? Enough jabbering. Tell the court what you saw and keep it brief. I would thank you to not order me around. I am perfectly willing to tell everyone what I witnessed. It was the moment of the murder. Very well then. Please proceed with your testimony. And so here we go. The trial really begins. I went to a ship-shaped aquarium to see the killer whale. As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy. I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth. Attempting to remain calm, I reported the incident to the police immediately. Attempting to remain calm. That adorable defendant really did all that? Ugh, it must be much more vicious than it looks. Now, deliver your judgment so I may carry out the sentence. Objection! Here we go. The defense would like to do some defending first? If that's alright? Must you drag this out with your tomfoolery? Hold it! The defense always has the right to cross-examine the witness, you know. A fellow inmate told me just this morning. If you want something signed, all you need is a document and a witness. Let me guess, they were convicted for contract fraud, right? All we need in this case is the evidence and a witness to convict. It's as simple as that. Looks like I guess right. Sorry, but as Miss Sykes said, the defense has every right to cross-examine. Isn't that correct, Your Honor? Yes, of course. You may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. I shall relish the sight of you thrashing around in vain. Well, come on then, Blackquill. Let me press. So, I went to a ship-shaped aquarium to see the killer whale, but how were you there when you're not even allowed in? Why did you want to see the orca? Well, it is the featured attraction of the aquarium, after all. Why waste energy on such tripe? There is but one attraction in ship-shaped aquarium that is worth anyone's time. And that is the penguins. Isn't that right, Taka, my friend? Oh, he's a... very much a bird fan. Do you like chickens too? Alright then, I guess Prosecutor Blackquill is for the birds. Guess I should jot that down. Note to self, Prosecutor Blackquill is on Team Rifle. Ugh. And so you went to see the orca in his tank? Yes, that's right. I recoiled in horror at the team something thing. As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy. The orca suddenly went crazy, did she? Yes, it took a look at me, and then all at once it started going berserk. Did you do anything to make her angry? Tap on the tank? I did nothing more than simply glare at it from the visitor's corridor. She glared at Orla. And that's what caused her to go berserk. Objection! The reason the defendant went mad is not the issue here. Only what she did once she entered that state. In any case, the killer whale began behaving wildly in front of my very eyes. And then I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth. Hold it! So you're saying you saw the very moment of the victim's death? That's exactly what I'm saying. Oh, it was simply dreadful. It was as frightening as losing one's manuscript just before a deadline. I suppose for a writer, that would be pretty terrifying. I witnessed the killer whale's horrific act, and I knew I had to do something, so attempting to remain calm, I reported the incident to the police immediately. Hold it! Why were the police the first ones you contacted? I was afraid if I told Aquarium staff, they might try to cover it up. Of course, I immediately told Aquarium security after my call to the police. I believe I deserve praise for my swift decision-making skills under pressure. Mr. Plume is the most assertive witness I've ever seen. We better do our best to look like big shot lawyers who want to match your intensity. Mr. Plume, I praise your swift decision-making skills under pressure. That was more kiss-up than big shot. I suppose it was unrealistic to expect big shot from Mr. Wright. How fitting for a small fry to praise a big shot. How about cutting the small fry some slack, you big meanies? The important thing here is, did she really see the moment of the murder? You're raring to go, aren't you, Mr. Wright? I see it in your eyes, and in your heart. I guess I really am a lawyer at heart. So we're looking for the third statement. And we're looking to present something there. We got no extra testimony out of anything we pressed. So what are we looking at exactly? Well, it won't be this, necessarily. Are we bringing this up? To just say there was a likely other murder weapon at this point and juncture? Why are we bringing this up? And saying, did you really get like a dead-on view? Because you didn't see it bite to death, did you? But there is definitely some ramming going on. And we don't see the corpse. We don't see anything conclusive. So maybe it's this? Objection! That's so wrong. Alright, first penalty. Your Honor, what is your opinion on the witness's statement just now? My opinion? My opinion is that there is nothing wrong with it. Oh, this is my first trial in 8 years. It looks like I made a little mistake. That is no excuse, Mr. Wright. I should give you 8 years worth of penalties. Well, I'm glad that wasn't 8 years worth. It's been 8 years. Can you go easy on me? It's to the statement I'm presenting. I don't actually know what I'm doing. Oh my god. Hold it! Oh, I didn't mean to press again. Alright, let's skip this testimony. You witnessed a horrific act. We just kind of showed something else. I imagine it is this statement. Oh god, I've got no clue. I need to think this over for a while. Is it because the time? Or is it just that... So this happened at 10:09. Something happened at 7 and 10:10. Oh god, we can see the whole thing again? So we can see the actual cutscene whenever we want. Contusion from head trauma, bruised all over body. Oh god, what am I kidding? I'm supposed to present the autopsy report.
Objection!
Or not! Ah, this piece of evidence clearly exposes the witness's lie. It's not a lie! Oh my god, okay, failures all around the place. Ah, it does indeed expose something in the defense's boneheadedness. There's nothing underwater about that evidence, no matter how you bluster. I agree. There's nothing compelling in that evidence. Was I presenting the right statement then? I'm definitely losing the judge's confidence in me here. This has gone terribly. I presented completely the wrong thing. It's this one. So that was a bit of a slip. That was a very big slip. Well, 2 penalties for no reason.
Objection!
It's the autopsy report, guys. God damn. It would seem that you were mistaken, Mr. Plume. I beg your pardon? The autopsy report does indeed say death thought to be a result of orca attack. But the actual cause of death is contusion from head trauma, not being bitten. What? But, I'm sure the victim was bitten. I don't believe that can be true. The security footage doesn't show anything of the kind. I presented that way, then that way!
Objection!
Just as I suspected. I knew you would peek at the footage behind Fulbright's back. Well, what do you expect when he wouldn't play nice and share? But unfortunately for you, the footage you saw was only one small part. Huh? Yesterday, after I decided to take this case to trial, I re-reviewed all of the evidence. And Taka, the evidence I gave to you for safekeeping. Guess that hawk is higher up on the pecking order than Fulbright and Blackwell's book. Very well. Let's view the footage. Okay, we can see it literally biting him. What's this? The orca is biting the victim! No way! Well, I presented that as evidence. Surely that should have worked. I have to say, this appears to be very damning evidence. So I tripped up on my own thinking that that would be good enough. Damn. No, I can't believe Orla really bit him. And there is more. Look at this. This photograph was taken while the body was being examined. There seems to be a strange bruise on the victim's right wrist. I'll have the crime lab examine the bruise and calculate its relevance to the case at hand. What's important right now is evidence that points to the orca as the killer. Look at the left side of the body. See the orca's tooth marks in the victim's clothes? Yes, they do appear to suggest that she did, in fact, bite the victim. Right, the photo of the body has been updated in the court record as well. I told you so. And then the killer whale swam up toward the surface with the victim in its mouth.
Objection!
However, in the autopsy report, the cause of death is contusion from head trauma.
Objection!
You are much too impetuous, Wright Dono. Granted, the orca biting the victim was not the cause of death. The witness was mistaken about that. And then what explanation is there for what the witness saw? Did I not say in the beginning, the orca toyed with the victim mercilessly? My goodness! After killing the victim, the defendant swam around with his dead body in her mouth. And just like any other predator toying with its prey. Mr. Wright! The hearts of the people in the gallery are suddenly filled with fear. Fear of Orla. So the defendant bit the victim after she had killed him. But if that's the case, then we must still figure out how the defendant killed the victim. Prosecutor Blackquill, do you have a sound theory to give this to this court? I wouldn't be standing here if I couldn't prove whether the orca's heart was black or white. But Orla is black and white. Her body, I mean. Athena, please try not to provoke Prosecutor Blackquill. This witness ought to observe the actual moment of the murder. Think backward, mistress. Think back to what you observed before the orca bit the victim. Ah, I see what you're driving at. So that was the true moment of the murder, was it? Now, explain it in a way that even these simpletons can understand. There you go again, ordering me around. Stop that this instant. But whatever, I don't mind telling my story. I saw the killer whale before it toyed with the body as well. I saw it the moment it killed the victim by head-butting him. Well, it killed the victim by head-butting him? That's right. It rammed the victim over and over again. Recall that the autopsy report stated that there were bruises all over his body. Recall as well how persistent the defendant can be when she's attacking her prey. And we all just saw the killer whale head-butting the victim in the footage. Don't forget. That footage backs up Mr. Plume's testimony. But there's also something very important it does not show. Now, do you see what a menace this killer whale is?
Objection!
I'm sorry, but I can't allow your testimony to stand unchallenged. Looking at this footage, the orca certainly seems to be headbutting something. But you'll note that the something is not the victim. Oh! What? I want to look away, but I can't. Even if it was the victim, you couldn't have seen him from where you were, could you? What? I suppose not. Mr. Plume, did you actually witness the victim getting headbutted by the defendant? Let's see. Oh, I remember now. As I recall, a rock in the shape of the skull was obstructing my view. So are you admitting that you couldn't see the victim? Yes, I suppose I am. Okay, so you've just proven that you can't see what was going on, but afterwards, Orla was holding the body. I can't believe I messed up in that way, but to be honest, I feel like even if that was the evidence that was brought up, the tape was brought up, I feel like I should have stood for that point in time, because I was contesting the point that there was no scene of being bitten. Of course, then the tape proved to be the actual thing, so maybe that's why it wasn't admissible, but you're not supposed to know that beforehand, even though you can always suspect it beforehand. 2 penalties have we taken. That's not good for Phoenix's first trial in 8 years. But we should be able to continue on and hopefully navigate our choppy waters a bit more safely next time on Dual Destinies. Join me then. Bye-bye.